What's good, everybody? Welcome back. So a short live stream tonight, nothing super long. Um, yeah. So what's up, Gene? What's going on, man? Welcome in. Welcome in. I am actually going to turn on the chat overlay. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Legendary Tech, what's up? Welcome in. Appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are awesome for coming in. It's pretty late. It's like almost 9 o'clock. So, Baby Yoda, what's up, man? What's going on? So as the title implies, right? Google Fi family deal. The family plan is a pretty good deal. Boost Infinite future, where is it going, right? I haven't made a Boost Infinite video to update, just what I think is going to happen and whatnot, right? A lot of people have like their speculations of what they feel is the future of Boost Infinite, right? Some people feel like, AT&T is going to buy them out just because of some of the, the hint drops that's happening in the tech space on tech news. So, I mean, there's that. People are just still slightly frustrated, right? I mean, we've seen the articles talking about customer loss in Q1 for Dish, 81,000. That's a significant number. It's a number not to take lightly. And that's a very tough spot for them to be in, But anyways, before I get into the whole Boost Infinite thing, let me get into the Google Fi thing. So I've been using Google Fi for a little bit and decided to take the plunge and go for their Simply Unlimited. So 4 lines for $80, right? And the way that it works out is that if you do 2 lines, it's $80. If you do 3 lines, it's $80. If you do 4 lines, it's $80. So it's like getting 2 lines for $80, lines 3 and 4 is free, sort of, if you want to look at it in that context. The way that I look at it is that I have 4 lines. Each line is $20 a line. And you get unlimited talk and text. You get 35 gigabytes of priority data access because it is on the Simply Unlimited. It's not on the Unlimited Plus plan. But it works out great, considering the fact that, it's myself and my 3 younger ones that's on this plan. And I think one of the coolest things about it, if I had to describe all the things that you get with Google Fi for being on that plan, the Simply Unlimited, besides the plan details itself, as far as your calling, your texting, your data usage and whatnot. I think it's got like each line's got like 5 gigabytes of hotspot. So, I mean, it's not really worth using the hotspot if you're like a heavy gamer and stuff like that. If you're just checking emails and things like that, you can make that stretch you the month. Just basically light browsing, nothing too heavy, nothing too insane. Yeah. By the way, just, can I get a sound check? Somebody let me know if you guys can hear me clearly or if it sounds muffled or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I set the microphone to the laptop rather than the headphones. But I just want to double check and make sure that, it doesn't sound so faint and quiet. So let me get a sound check. Thumbs up emoji if the sound is good. I should have done that in the beginning. Right before I started the live stream, I should have done that in the beginning. I didn't even use my external mic. Audio is tremendous. Awesome. Appreciate that. So, going back to the whole thing with Google Fi. The additional features and stuff like that, I mean, with my kids' line, I'm able to set their phone lines to where only contacts that's in their phones can call them, and I think that's pretty cool. Avoid spam calls and stuff like that. Or I can just set it to where it blocks what's been reported as spam calls. And these are things that, I hate to say it, but iPhones can't take advantage of. I think it's probably one of the biggest key things that I dig about Google Pixels. Borganato, what's up, man? Welcome in. Is the fact that I don't have to worry about getting a spam call. I could answer them for fun if I want to play around with the scammer on the other line or whatever. But normal the time, I don't even mess with it. And I could also block spam messages too as well, and Google Messages. So I mean, it gives me that sense of security, and like my needs is going to be different from a lot of other people's needs. I need a phone service that I'm able to actually govern my kid's account. You know what I mean? With Google Fi, if your kid's Google account, set up by you as a parent, then you fall under the Family Link guidelines, which means that Family Link controls is what you have. So it really broadens, just how I can keep my kids protected to a degree with their access to the digital world and smartphones. Ultimately, the reason they got the lines basically is to call and text me when I'm away from home, or just when they're coming home from school. So that way I know that they made it on the bus. They're on the school bus. They're safe. They'll be dropped off at their bus stop. Those types of things, It's +2 summers coming around. The center that I work at we'll get a 30-day notice before we have to return to office. So everything is just basically remote at this time. So good on Google Fi. I mean, it did switch up. We don't have the smart switching anymore with Google Fi on Pixels, right? I have Google Fi active eSIM on my Pixel 7. And then for my Boost Infinite line, I have it on the Moto G Stylus 5G 2022, only because this does support N70 and LTE band 29. Which I'll get into here in a little bit. Got some news to talk about when it comes to the Rainbow SIM and those types of things with Boost Infinite, stuff that you U.S. customers, if you guys are customers for them, need to be aware of. Remind you of Digimon? I haven't heard about Digimon. Is like the competitor to Pokemon, right? So it's been a while since I've heard of Digimon. Really has. As you're coming in, please feel free to say hello. All right, don't lurk. If I had like a Twitch live stream and had stuff set up like my friend does, like I find his Twitch live streams funny. If you guys haven't noticed, I've been sharing his live streams. He's a real cool person, real good dude. I find his stuff entertaining. Of course, he does play Fortnite. And but before that, he gives a little bit of entertainment before he's ready to start gaming online. So if you guys are not subscribed to Sideburns, definitely check him out. I'll put his name in the chat. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, check out YouTuber Sideburns and subscribe to his channel. Check him out. He's awesome. He's got a good fan base on Twitch, but building out his YouTube is one of the goals that he's working on right now. So definitely check him out. So yeah, as of right now, I mean, the kids and I, we're on Google Fi. My wife didn't want to join up. She's content with Boost Infinite service. Doesn't want to carry 2 phones or anything like that, which is understandable. So, my Boost Infinite line on my Samsung A13 5G is working perfectly, no issues. But now I'm no longer paying $25 a month. It's now $35. What did you add on to your services? And then also, can you tell me when you started services with Boost Infinite, just to be clear? But yeah, a couple of things that people got to know about Google Fi. They are running a promotion right now. You can get the Pixel 7a for free based on monthly credit. Obviously, you would have to like outright buy out the phone for $499, and then you will get kickback and credits. So if you did decide to go with the $50 Simply Unlimited, I get the credit they're kicking back is like $24.77 a month. So you can get like almost half your Simply Unlimited plan credited if you're just a single line. If you're a multi-line, then of course, obviously, it's only going to credit the $24.07. So you're not going to get like based on per line, unless you get like a bunch of Pixel 7As. Then yeah, that smart thing. I started Boost Infinite when it first started. Okay, so basically last year is when you subscribed to Boost Infinite. And then what smart thing are you talking about? Because the add-ons is Speed Pass, Hotspot, North America Connect, and International Connect. If it's a Speed Pass, then I could probably break that down for you. And then you gotta let me know exactly when you just added on Speed Pass. Because the way I'm gonna break it down is not saying you guys have to agree, but I'll break it down on how that works. Like, how many add-ons do you have? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, so to kind of wrap up on the whole Google Fi thing, I think that, you know, the sale towards basically, you know, discounting lines and you know, making 4 lines $80. I know there's taxes and fees, so I know my bill is probably going to come out to maybe about like $91, but that is still somewhat of savings compared to, you know, $100 and some change for 4 lines, you know, on other carriers like Visible and such. Okay. Now I'm going to get into the whole thing with the Boost Infinite feature and where it's going. But before I touch base with things that, you know, you guys should know about Boost Infinite, let me just go ahead and just kind of like address this with Gene. And hopefully this helps you out to understand exactly what's happening. And I say you don't have to agree with it, but I'm going to explain what happens. Okay. And it's like one of the weirdest things because I dealt with it myself. All right. So when you add on any of these add-ons on Boost Infinite, it's weird because they are billed as prepaid, just the add-ons. So not the service. The service is always postpaid. You're always going to use services first. At the end of your bill cycle, your bill will generate about 14 days away from when it generates is when your bill is due. But the add-ons, for some reason, they charge it as a prepaid. So let's say your bill cycle is from the 1st of the month all the way until, you know, the 30th of the month, right? If you add Speed Pass, say on the 16th or even on the 29th, even one day before your bill cycle ends, your next bill that would generate on the 15th of the following month, your next bill is going to show double the charges, 2 $5 charges for Speed Pass. And the reason why is, like I said, it's charged as a prepaid add-on service. So you are being billed from the 1st to the 30th, $5 Speed Pass for the month you added it on in the middle of your bill cycle, and then another charge of $5 for the next bill cycle that you're prepaying for from the 1st to the 30th, right? After that month, your next bill generates on the 15th, and you'll only see one $5 charge for Speed Pass. So that's what's happening. That's why you're seeing if your bill spiked up from 25 to 35, that's why. Is because you're paying for the Speed Pass for the middle of the current bill cycle you were in, and then the next month ahead. My latest bill is $30.71 due on the 25th. Yeah, the reason why it's pending is because you're already, you know, you already got the Speed Pass on. So the Speed Pass will cancel out on the last day of your bill cycle going into the first day of your next bill cycle. Boost Infinite doesn't do credits. They don't prorate bills, right? They're pretty early in their stages, and so I'm not saying that that's not ever going to happen down the road. But as of right now, they don't do credits like that. So, yeah. Now, me personally, I took off Speed Pass also. I took it off because I have multiple phone lines, right? The 1 month I stuck to my guns and I wanted to test out Boost Infinite and its throttling afterwards. And that was, that was by happenstance, actually, to be honest with everybody. Like, I literally thought that I had the protection of 20 gigs of data after I passed 30 gigs. And when I did that, I was throttled at 30 gigs and they couldn't fix it. So I was like, not to worry. I have 2 Boost Infinite lines because I did take out a second line, which I'm probably going to use that as like a port to something else. But yeah, the 2 Boost Infinite lines I have, and then the Boost Mobile Legacy line I have, and then the Boost Mobile, or the new, what they call it, New Boost, the New Boost prepaid line I have. Then the Google Fi lines that I have. So it's quite a predicament that I'm in, but I am going to cut those out little by little. So, what's with the meow, Ricky? But like, you guys know, I've been transparent with you guys. I know Dish will check on this, since I did put Boost Infinite in the title. No, I'm not going to give out like a lot of internal stuff. I wouldn't do that. I'll stick to my guns on that. But things that that I can say to you guys, not as for you guys to be like, oh, okay, forgive them for certain things that they do. Like, no, but so you understand what you're getting into. You got 4 lines on Visible, nice. 4 lines on Visible at what? Did you port in all 4 lines to get it at $25 a line? So 4 lines, $100, flat rate. That's pretty decent. Yeah. For me, paying a few dollars less, having a 35 cap on the lines, that's totally fine. Plus, too, I don't need my kids being on their phones 24/7, right? So if they ever reach their limitation of 35 gigs on Simply Unlimited with Google Fi and their speed slow down, like, good. Get them off of it, type of thing. But there's a lot of things that's going on. There's a lot of things being fixed. It's still being fixed. As much as anyone wants to criticize, like, oh my God, it's been almost 2 months and they're still not fully fixed. Like, no, they're not fully fixed. I know I can tell you guys that much. There ain't anything about the cyber attack that you guys don't already know about, that you guys have read from various different news sources, and Dish knows about that. They know that you guys know. And what I can confirm is that that hasn't been passed down to phone agents. It hasn't. It's not something that I think that Dish feels that phone agents need to know about, right? They don't want us spending half an hour, 45 minutes on the phone trying to explain what the cyber attack did. They want us to basically take care of the customer's needs the best as possible as we can. Everything that we are using is relatively new. It's relatively new. That's all I'll say. I'm not gonna say what these things are, but it allows us to do our job. So that's the most important part that you need to know, is that it allows us to do our job, to take care of the basic needs of Boost Infinite customers. Until something happens down the long road and things get fixed potentially 100%. I made this claim before, and I've had Peter Adderton actually say things about getting things fixed quickly and stuff like that. He loves to ruffle feathers. I never take what he says to heart. Because at the end of the day, these are phone service providers. They're not my best friends. So I'm not gonna get butthurt if he was to criticize the way that Dish is doing things. Peter's got his mindset for business. He's got his perspective on things, and with all due respect, in his head they work, right? But he didn't become successful, being a timid man that second guesses, his moves, right? He's gone to success with, right now with Mobile X doing okay, and you got Boost Australia doing phenomenal. And but even he says things about how things is running. Like, when I made mention, like, I guesstimated that Boost Infinite was running like at, I think it was like 70 to 80% capacity, and he made a reply to it, and then everyone's gonna have an opinion. we all think we know we all think we know the business. I mean, aside from Peter Adderton, who is involved in the business, so he knows how that goes. But the rest of us that watch YouTube videos and read Fierce Wireless and all this stuff, like, we talk like we know the business inside and out. We don't. Okay. So yeah, because of all this stuff, the way that the recovery is happening, yeah, we lose customers. At the end of the day, you can't blame the customer, right? And in the eyes of any customer, and this is how it goes. In the eyes of any customer, I pay you my dollars. I want my shit to work. Simple as that. They don't want to hear, well, we're still recovering. They don't want to hear those types of excuses. They want, if you can't service me, I'll take my service somewhere else that can. That's business. That is the cold world of business. So yeah, when anyone says that they are canceling with Boost Infinite or porting out, I don't take that in a bad way. And they may leave today, and like a year and a half from now, Boost Infinite may do something that will, entice them to come back. It's a revolving carousel that links with other carousels, and people just hop horses as the horses run side by side with each other for a brief moment. And they get passed around to different carousels. The carousels are the carriers. And they take that ride and they ride it for what it is. Some carousels run really fast, but have a slow, motion. Some have a fast motion up and down with the horses, but spin very slow. Some got both fast, the way that the horses move and the spin of the carousel. And some are just super sluggish. Was it like a week ago when I went live and I talked about said person that had that interesting conversation with me on Twitter, like at the end of the day, and really just how it goes, people will call what they feel is best for them based upon their own personal experience, right? And that's a case of being biased. I'm biased too. I'm not gonna bullshit anybody. You know what I mean? Visible Plus looks to be better than the leaked new Verizon plans, since the new Verizon plans are throttled and Visible Plus is not, with the exception of its hotspot. Visible Plus is throttled. It's not throttled up front. Apparently, you will experience, slight throttling during times of congestions if you're beyond 50 gigs of data usage, but they do throttle. Any word when Native Dish is coming to Boost Infinite? So Native Dish is still being built out, right? They hope to achieve what they promised the FCC that they would do, which is to have 70% of the country basically serviced by, I think it's June, so next month or the month after. And they'll continue to drive forward, right? So I'm going to get into that, with a little bit that I can give, Titus. So I'll get into that right now. I'm just trying to think of ways to word it so I'm not giving away too much. I don't want to get in trouble. But we do have an update that had already come through that pretty much outlines like how the SIMs work, right? And like we can see all the different types of SIMs, the SIM cards and what they're for, what their initial plan is for that SIM card. I did see the Rainbow SIM. I know Carlos did a video and he showed the Rainbow SIM physically. For those that doubted that they were legit, I seen the Rainbow SIM. It's in our systems. We can see them. Now I'm gonna put it to you like this, and this might sound a little bad, but for the dynamic switching, I'll just tell you guys, you'll have a better chance experiencing that dynamic switching with a Boost Infinite phone, like bought directly from Boost Infinite. Any of the Moto devices they sell, Samsung, upcoming iPhones, because that is in the works. That is coming soon. So iPhones will be supported, and they'll be selling them, and they will have N70 access, and you'll be able to take care, to have the dynamic switching. Dynamic switching is not something that's going to come to BYOD. So if you were in the hopes that with BYOD, like you were going to have that, as far as what I'm able to see, it doesn't look like it, which is like sad for me, because if the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro get N70 support, I still wouldn't be able to utilize it. Or if it came in the Pixel 9. Dish is working with Samsung, with Motorola, to add more devices to their portfolio that support native Dish 5G as well. And like the whole overarching thing with dynamic switching, like when people want to know what is that all about, how would that actually function? And the way that I can say this is, so my Moto G Stylus 5G 2022, long name for a phone, is compatible directly to Dish's network. So when Dish is fully built out in my city, my phone will automatically default to Dish coverage. And in areas where Dish coverage becomes weak, it will auto switch to either AT&T or T-Mobile, but most likely AT&T, as when you sign up for Boost Infinite, depending on where you're signing up from, there are only a few places in the US that if you sign up, you will be signed up and put on the T-Mobile network. Majority of the time you sign up, even if T-Mobile is great in your city and AT&T is decent in your city, you get auto put on AT&T. So it's like AT&T is like their go-to for service network connection right now, and T-Mobile is like a backup, right? Because VTech Reviews, if you guys know his channel, Mike, he went and got a new Boost Mobile prepaid. And I was shocked to find out that it was connected to T-Mobile. I thought he had legacy, and he was like, no, he got the Galaxy A23 from Boost Mobile with a $40 plan, and just went in there on that and whatnot. So, but his service in his area where he lives at on new Boost Mobile, which is very similar to Boost Infinite, automatically put him on T-Mobile. So he's on that. That's what he uses. And that's what it is, And I know that there's a lot of people that's on the Boost Infinite group on Facebook asking, because I see all the questions. Again, shout out to Titus for being a mod and running that page for me. I've been super busy with work, so I don't really get on there to chat. So I appreciate, Titus. I appreciate everybody on that group. I think we're like at 169 followers on that group, but it could have grown. Like I said, I've just been real busy with work. Like work is work, and work is slamming right now. And what I mean by slamming right now is just getting familiar with new systems and everything in place to be able to manage all these calls that come in. But there may be a bigger wave of calls coming through to us, just because Boost Infinite is about to do like a very big campaign push. I'm interested into seeing what that is. I'm not going to tell you guys what that is, but I'm interested in seeing it. I've been having T-Mobile home internet for the past 4 days. It's been doing great. I have no problems. Nice. Glad that it's working out for you. I'm actually using it. I actually use the T-Mobile home internet for work, to be quite honest. And like, I'm not saying that like Ricky and 291 Tech have to agree with me. I know right now they're having a conversation, in the chat. They dislike T-Mobile. I've known Ricky dislikes T-Mobile for the longest. You don't have to tell me that. I know. But you know what? Like, using the gateway with the Ethernet port, and that's how I'm working remote from home. And I haven't had any issues with any of the systems that I use. I can't tell you guys the names of these systems, but I can tell you guys that it's north of like 9 systems that I use. And none of them has failed with that connection. So some places it does okay. You're on vacation for 11 days. Enjoy your vacation, Ricky. Enjoy your vacation. I won't see vacation until, well, I mean, I'm already I've already been earning vacation time. Well, paid protected time. I've already been earning that. I'm already earning, vacation. Yeah, paid protected is just basically like the name of sick time. So I have all that. But like whatever I'm accruing right now, I have to save it because I really do want to go see my dad. And that is happening this October. I am going at the end of October for a week to go see my dad. And so I'm going to make sure that I have enough vacation time to use plus PPT to use as well so I can go. But it's like it's sad because when I hear complaints from different people, whether it's on the group page on Facebook, here on YouTube or Twitter, like I get the level of frustration. I do. I really do. You know what I mean? I can see the end of the tunnel that they have projected that they will hit. Not a guarantee they will hit it. No company can really guarantee that. But when I tell you, when I say that the cyber attack really pushed a lot of things back for Boost Infinite, like I'm not blowing smoke up your ass to make you feel good. I am telling you the honest to God's truth. It really pushed a lot back, so much that I really feel bad for the company. I do. You know, I support the company. I'm sticking with Boost Infinite through the good and the bad. I don't care if it's like super sluggish or, you know, excuse me, super sluggish or maybe no service for like 3 days, right? It'll suck. You know, of course, I would be aggravated because I don't have service on my Boost Infinite line. But I'm not the type of person that just goes and like starts hitting up social media saying I reported them to the Better Business Bureau and the FCC and all this stuff. Like, what point are you trying to make? Like, if you really reported them, like, why are you coming to social media to say anything? If you're planning a lawsuit, then maybe you should keep your ducks in a row and not fold and drop your card and show everybody what you do. They won't hit the deadline, Ricky says. Are you talking about the upcoming deadline here in June, right? It's June, right, Ricky? I'm pretty sure it's June that they have to have 70% of the country covered. You know, one of the biggest things that I deal with on a daily basis is like, why does Boost Infinite feel sluggish? I already know the answer to that question. Obviously, it's the network access. Okay, so you're saying that next month, more than likely, I'm gonna have to blow off my resume because if they don't make it, there could be huge penalties that just brings it down to its knees. But yeah, that's everyone's frustration that I've dealt with so far when it comes to aggravation with the service of Boost Infinite. It's like I was on AT&T last month and I came to Boost Infinite because it's $25. Why is it so crappy? When I should just go back to AT&T? Well, you really think AT&T is going to give Boost Infinite like the most premium access to their network? Do you think they want them to be so comparable to their postpaid customers that their postpaid customers start questioning, why am I paying $75, $80 for AT&T when I can go to Boost Infinite for $25? Like, they have to make it challenging to some degree, right? So the overarching idea of how dynamic switching works is you will be on Dish's native 5G if you have a supported phone bought by Boost Infinite. It looks like where it's going to go. Any of the model phones that Boost Infinite sells will work on Dish in the future. And if you go into an area where Dish sucks and you have no connection at all whatsoever, you're going to fall back to AT&T or T-Mobile, which the access on that is what, QCI 9, Ricky? Would you agree with me on that? QCI 9, right? Not the highest priority access onto the network. So, of course, it won't be the best, but it's something to tie you over until you get back into an area where Dish is present. So that is the idea of dynamic switching. It's not switching between Dish, AT&T, and T-Mobile and always having the most highest priority data access on those networks. It's nothing of that sort. You will have the highest priority data access on Dish. That is the plan, obviously. AT&T and T-Mobile are fillers. They're filler in-betweens. Because if you go to an area where Dish is weak and maybe like, you know, your speeds drop, your latency kicks in high, so you're no longer like popping, maybe let's call it at like 17 millisecond latency. And let's say like you're in an area and Dish is kicking at, you know, 91 millisecond legacy, or maybe 139 millisecond latency, and your data connection speeds on the downlink is like 9 megabits per second. Your uplink is like 0.22 megabits per second on the uplink. If Dish ever hits that speed, obviously it's going to roll to the next carrier's network, and that will more than likely be AT&T. And you may hit like 70, 80, 90 on the downlink, maybe 40 on the uplink, maybe have a latency of like 43 millisecond. It still can tie you over to browse your internet, browse your social media, right? You may not be able to watch things in true 4K on your phone, but you'll be able to browse the internet, browse, you know, social media, and be able to do those things because those don't require a whole lot of data to do. They don't. Uh-huh. I'm not gonna repeat what Ricky says, just because I'm not gonna put myself in the line of fire. Yeah, at the end of the day, what I do provides for me and my kids. So, but you're entitled to what you think, Ricky. Um, AT&T never forgave me. What do you mean by they never forgave you? Like for what? AT&T is 10 times better. Eh, in some areas, I wouldn't say here where I'm at. It's decent. And I'm not talking about speed tests where like on T-Mobile I get like close to 500 down, and on AT&T I get like 200 to 150. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about like when I go online on my phones, my devices and stuff like that. I don't have hiccups with T-Mobile or AT&T anymore. Like those two were really bad 2 years ago. 2 years ago here, Verizon dominated. I was on Visible and had like the best quality connection ever. In 2 years, AT&T and T-Mobile both caught up. So what I use on Google Fi, what I use on Boost Legacy, I don't have hiccups with that on anything that I do. And on the AT&T side, I don't really have much hiccups on that either. They're catching up. Yeah, we try not to be. We try not to have such a shitty experience. We understand that there's always going to be things that come along that even we got to fix. There are things that, and I'll tell you guys, known issues are passed up. So if you sit on this thing and you think that, okay, I called them, I troubleshooted with them for 40 fucking minutes and I'm pissed off because they were like, they escalated it up. They didn't do anything. I'm going to tell you, when they escalate shit up, they escalate shit up. Because our known issues, it could be two known issues reported. And then I go in the morning and then there's like 7. So they're not hiding them. They're not ignoring them. But they're not getting fixed at a snap of a finger. Like a billing problem, like, you were double charged, I can expect that to be fixed at a snap of a finger. The moment you make contact with a chat rep or, a phone rep, you should be having that fixed. But when it comes to the network stuff, when it comes to connectivity, and you're reporting any type of issue that has not been reported yet, they're going to escalate it up. Well, yeah. Borganata, that's the idea. That is part of the idea of the dynamic switching. I only wish that the dynamic switching would, at least for right now, they're saying it. It could change. It could change. Shit changes every week. But as of right now, the verbiage, I'm not going to go into detail on the verbiage because that is their proprietary stuff. I could just go in layman's terms and just say that the verbiage gives me the idea that it's only phones bought through Boost Infinite will be able to take advantage of the dynamic switching. BYOD devices are automatically defaulted to AT&T, and if AT&T is not great in your area, that's when you'll be defaulted to T-Mobile. This is why on, I think if Titus is still here, he can confirm this. I forgot the person's name on our group on Facebook, but that person stated that they went through hell to get their line on the T-Mobile network side rather than the AT&T side, is because it's not something that we can do. If we set up a new activation, say Ricky went, decided, he had too many shots of vodka and decided to sign up for Boost Infinite, got his SIM card, called in to get it activated, and we were activating his services. We don't have like a button that says AT&T, T-Mobile, and we choose. We can't. We don't have that ability. We may have that down the road. Like I said, things change. That's one thing that I do like about the company is that they don't stick firm to just one thing. When shit comes up and ideas are pitched, if it's ideas that benefits, they get implemented. And so, yeah, any company can make changes. And right now, it may not be enticing to somebody. 10 years from now, it may be the greatest thing there. You never know. Vomit. I mean, I still stick to what I say. Like, I know that people will have their own personal feelings, their own personal thoughts. And hey, do that. Like, do you. I will never silence anyone from their personal opinions. But yeah, the same thing that I posted on Twitter, and I absolutely fucking mean that. Because you have a way of thinking and you think you're a certain way, don't expect me to be a robot and follow you. If I think Boost Infinite is okay for right now and will do better, and I want to back them, that's my fucking right to do it. I don't need anyone telling me what I should be doing. That's the one thing that really grinds my gears. Yeah, your phone numbers as of right now, yeah, they are set according to your zip code. So if you're signing up for Boost Infinite and you like say like you live in California, but you want a Hawaii area code because you got family in Hawaii and maybe, you know, they use the payphone to call you. You don't want them to do international calling or like not international, but like, you know, long distance calling or anything like that, which these days aren't really relevant. But I mean, you know, if you want an 808 number, then when you first sign up with Boost Infinite, you need to do a Hawaii zip code or California zip code. Whatever zip code you do at the very beginning when you sign up for Boost Infinite, the area code is bound by that zip code. You could move. And this is one thing that I foresee being a problem. You could move. Say, you know, you got a new job. You lived in California. You got hired at a job in Texas. And so now you're going to relocate. You're going to permanently live in Texas. You want to get a Texas area code. They don't change the area code. They can change your number. So they can change your number, but not your area code. Just the 7 digits. They can change it around. And I foresee that being a problem because nobody knows their future. Nobody knows, like, hey, I'm going to retire in Atlanta, Georgia. So let me get a Atlanta, Georgia area code for my phone number now, 20 years ahead of time. So I'm hoping that these things will change later on. And the way that things is projected is that it's not permanent. Things that we can only do right now is not permanent, only, you know, for the future of the company and its services. It's just for right now. I will tell you that, you know, if you call in and you get an activation specialist and you request an escalation, there is nobody to take that call beyond that point. We're remote. We're remote and we're not doing transfers at this time. At this time. It doesn't mean that they will never do it, but at this time. So if you ever like called in, you escalated, like I want a supervisor, and the person was telling you like there's not a supervisor available, they can submit in the ticket for someone to reach back. That is the way that it happens. And you'll get the call back. But we don't have someone to physically like right there take over. And all that stuff will change. So if it's something that turns you off about the company, it does. Can't help that. You know, that is one of the top reasons that people want to port out for that reason. But the way that they're doing things, the way that they're communicating all the effective changes and their hopes of what to change, you know, is good. If it wasn't good, like I'm a person that can stand on my own 2 feet. If a company doesn't do things that I feel like is going to benefit the customer, either now or in the long run, I won't stick with the company like that. So the stuff that they're going to do, like I understand. It's going to take some time to implement that in. And it sucks because I understand that customers want things done right now. And those that walk away from the company are potentials that will come back. I mean, the reason that they came to Boost Infinite anyways was because of the price. That's one thing for sure. The price, $25, that's enticing. Even if it's only 30 gigs of priority data access and then it's throttle. 25, there's plans that are like 40 that throttle after 30 gigs. There's plans that's $50 that throttle at 30 gigs. So, you know, for them to do it in that fashion, I mean, that's enticing. The fact that, you know, eventually when Boost Infinite's network is like nationwide, the idea of pushing those on Project Genesis directly into Boost Infinite, I mean, that's a cool thing to happen. And I keep constantly asking questions like if they push Genesis members into Infinite, will the Genesis plan come in also as well? Right? Because I believe in Project Genesis, there is no throttle. Like it's unlimited data. And of course, they could be doing that as a beta test to see just like, you know, how they're like how much stress can you put on their network and how well would it perform, and will it underperform, right? Because you never know how well a tower and the network that it's outputting is going to be unless you actually put it through its paces and you test it out. Like you don't have to be a telecom nerd to know that in order to know that something can withhandle any type of stress, you gotta actually test it. I mean, hell, they test condoms. I don't know if you guys know that, but to make sure that a condom doesn't bust on a dude's member, they actually like put condoms through stress tests before they're rolled and packaged. It's a real thing. Bring the cell phone with you. Yeah, so you don't miss the call. Yes, that is true. Some of you may laugh at what Borganata says, but you know what? Honestly, that's a really good advice. I'm gonna pop your comment up so people can read it on the replay. If let's say like a callback is scheduled, and a callback could be scheduled as far out as 48 hours from the moment of interaction. But let's say it's gonna take the full 48 hours. And let's say like the appointment is set for a 6 p.m. call. You want to make sure you have your phone on, your alerts on, and your phone with you at all times at 5:55 to be waiting for that call. You don't have it with you. How could you get mad? We will only attempt 3 phone calls. We will call at 6. We will call again at 6:05. We will call again at 6:10, and that's it. You don't answer. We're not gonna attempt. We're not gonna attempt. Oh no, wait, no. Scratch that. Scratch that. That's not it. It will be within the first 5 minutes. Sorry. Only just because if you don't answer 3 times, like we call you at 6, we call you at 6:01, we call you at 6:02, because we can only let it ring for 59 seconds. If you don't answer, you don't answer. We'll notate the account. We'll leave a voicemail letting you know that we tried to give us a call back. But if it's really that important to you, nothing is gonna get in your way of getting something fixed, right? Like if you were escalated because you wanted a refund, you want your money back. If your money is that important to you, you'll make sure that you have the time for the schedule that you set up for the callback, right? This is not where they tell you, oh, okay, we can call you back in 48 hours at 6 p.m. your time. We don't make the schedule of the callback. You guys do. The customers do. And so if you make it for 6 p.m., then you should be available for it. Does Boost Infinite have rewards app that can save money on the bill? Because Project Genesis and Boost does. So Project Genesis rewards its members for using the services, right? So like you get like a reward if you send 500 text messages. You get a reward if you make 23 outbound calls in 10 days. They get those rewards because they're trying to make sure that those people who signed up for Project Genesis are proactively using the service, so that way Dish can get feedback on the network, right? So that's why that reward is there. It's not a reward that's going to be planned for down the road. Boost Mobile has that, of course, prepaid side. Boost Infinite, no. And right now, there's no talks of any type of reward system because the plan is already at $25 right now. Like your plan with Boost Infinite is equivalent to someone that goes on ACP and signs up with Medicaid or food stamps or whatever. So it's heavily discounted. It's already heavily discounted. So no, not at this time. There's not a reward at this time. I can throw that in and see if that ever makes the cut, like in a year or so. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm one of the people that's giving Boost Infinite feedback. Like, I go on their forum that we have and I put stuff in there. Like, I've named tools that I know that will benefit my fellow coworkers. I do that, because I want us to perform better so we can perform better for y'all. And I put stuff that people tell me in there, certain things that, like the rewards thing, Borganata, I will put that in. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to be implemented, but I'm going to put it in there. See if we can get it up. But yeah, that would be cool to have. Maybe not a reward that discounts your bill, but maybe a reward that discounts other things. Maybe a reward that allows you to choose one of the add-ons as a monthly thing for free. You never know. Like I said in a previous video before, nothing stays the same. That's why when I was saying, will the $25 plan actually be for life. Maybe if you were an early adopter and you never make any changes to your plan, then you may keep that $25 plan down the road, right? Because they're not going to want to fiddle with your plan and kick you off of it, because it was their promotion that was for life. And I'm sure people screenshotted it, and so you can prove it in court if you sued them. But maybe 5 years from now, maybe they'll have regular plans like other MNOs, right? Like $50 plan, $60 plan, $70 plan. Like you never know. A company is going to adapt and change. That's what they're going to do. They're in the business to make money. They're not in the business to give services away. That's why there's always conflict between customer service of a business and customers. Customers want more for less. That's how our mentality is give me more. I don't want to pay more. And the business is like, for us to function, we need to make money. So you need to pay to get the services you want. And they always bump heads. Trust me, I've heard people literally tell me that because of their speeds for the internet were slow, that they should only pay $1.25, which was like, way less, but they were comparing it to the $12.50 first month bill on new Boost prepaid. People always ask for some kind of crazy things. One person's like, y'all should give me a phone for free. Because they signed up for Boost Infinite, bring your own device, and their phone wasn't compatible. It just wasn't. I wish I can go in there and change every BYOD IMEI to be acceptable, but not every phone is going to be acceptable. I'll give you a heads up on that. I'm not going to tell you what phones, give you a heads up on it. What you think new is coming to Boost Infinite? Can't tell you. Can't say. Did you hear about the leaked Verizon plans that throttle to 5 megabits per second after consuming 500 gigabytes of data? Verizon could flunk their root metrics test when phones are throttled. Yeah. Well, that's 500 gigabytes of data. That really is a significant amount of data to use. Especially if you have home Wi-Fi, you should never really be touching 500 gigabytes of data. I don't know what people are doing on their phones, but me just actually using my smartphones, and when I try to use it heavy, I don't even get close to 100. And that's uploading videos to YouTube, watching YouTube, listening to music on Spotify, YouTube Music. That's email checking, Facebook, Twitter, uploading videos to Twitter, uploading videos to Facebook, uploading videos to Instagram. That's watching, Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts, and I don't even get close to 100 gigs. I don't know how someone could use 500 gigs. The only thing that tells me is that they're either live stream gaming on their device, or they're using the device for hotspot for like live streaming on Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah. RootMetrics would manage to use several terabytes. I mean, as technology grows, yeah, we can expect an influx of data usage, right? With AI being the center of 2023, being implemented through a lot of things. You're talking about higher computing speeds, and we could possibly see a spike in data usage. I mean, when Bard gets fully integrated into all Google services, that's just going to be crazy. That's why I'm changing carriers to save money instead of giving money to the big carriers. I understand. And that's why I do these live streams and I talk a little bit about it. Like the things that I can say about, the company is because set expectations. Okay. So yeah, right now, majority of customers are on the AT&T network, and their priority is not the same priority as AT&T postpaid. I will tell you that honestly. So accessing, if AT&T is good in your area, accessing social media, Twitter, stuff like that, you should have no problems doing that. Maybe your resolution and video playback might be lower res, so you're not going to be getting like 4K. Music will be fine, 320 kilobits per second, rated, music file, and you'll be able to, to play that music just fine. But yeah, like I'll do a speed test. My monthly reset. Let me disable it from Wi-Fi, and then I'll do a speed test on Boost Infinite on my Moto G stylus. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'll do Ookla because everyone loves using this app. I like using Meteor, but that's a different speed testing app. But okay, we'll do that. And I know it's mirrored, so it's backwards for you guys. But see how you can see just a little bit of hiccups there as it first started. But this is the speeds that I'm getting right now. On good days, I can get 200. Normally, it's 70 to 100, maybe 150. The uplink is like 17, 16 to at best 40. That's here where I live at. When I go anywhere else, it fluctuates. So tonight we got 239 on the down. We got 32.3 on the up, but the ping was 37 milliseconds. You look at that loaded ping time for the downlink and the uplink is pretty high. 1,411 on the downlink and only 417 milliseconds on the uplink. Jitter was 12 milliseconds. And so let me go to results and we'll see 0 packet loss. How many gigs have I used? Let me open up my app real quick. Tell you. I don't think I've used beyond 2 gigs right now. The app's got an update, which is good. The app needs an update because there's always been one issue with the app that I've noticed, and I don't know if some of you guys that have Boost Infinite notice this, is that data calculation seems to be wrong at times. All right, well, let me log into my Boost Infinite account. Every time that I log into a different phone with the Boost Infinite app, it kicks me out of the one I was logged into. So, no, this Moto G stylus. I really like this phone. I'm actually probably gonna pick up an older phone just because I've always wanted one. The Moto One Ace 5G. Guys got one that's a silver model. For sale for $100. All right, we go to my usage really quickly. Yeah, see, I know for a fact this is incorrect. See, this is the problem that the app has. Data calculation could be off. I know I've used some data that's showing me I've used 0, so 28 days left in my cycle. I don't think so. Yeah, I got a new follower on Twitter. I'm gonna go pick up a saver. I'll be back. I'm gonna go. Huh? I'm gonna go. You're going with me? Why, are you on a call? Oh, go. Are you live? I'm live, yeah. 1 second, guys.
Bye.
I started cleaning it up.
Cool, thank you.
I'm halfway there, so don't go in there into the massacre.
Okay.
I'll finish it up when I get back. The ham's not done. I just gotta make the sides when I get back home.
The what?
I gotta make the sides when I get back home, and the ham will be ready.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just leaving it. They have brown sugar.
Aubrey, bring me a water, please. My oldest son is getting off work. You think they'll have other add-ons like international roaming, etc.? In the future, yeah. In the future, more things are going to come. So, like what you're seeing right now with Boost Infinite, what they're offering is not like it's not the end of the road of what they'll do. They will add on as as thing goes on. When we pick up more customers, when we have more demand for stuff. Like I'll tell you right now, there's not international usage as far as like you being able to go overseas to like France or England or Scotland. Your Boost Infinite line is not going to work. It's not. The international connections right now is like you being home based in the U.S. connecting to other countries. The North America Connect is you being in the North American continent connecting to people in Canada or Mexico by phone call, text, and being able to roam in those areas physically. But international roaming overseas to other countries, we don't have that yet. But in the future, we may. This is a company that takes feedback critical and serious. They really do take the feedback. Okay, again, I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's ass. They really do take the feedback. Just because they take the feedback, like someone can say, "Hey, you guys should make your entry plan $5," and it didn't happen next week, doesn't mean they don't listen to feedback. They listen. There are some things in the feedback that they won't do because it doesn't make business sense, and there's things from the feedback that they say, "Hey, if more customers are interested in that, let's give them that. Let's make it happen." I always tell people this, like before you start pushing for what you feel is the best options that they should provide you, ask yourself in a sense, if you owned the company and it was your money, would you give that to everybody? I know people will quickly say, yeah, but in the back of their head, they probably ain't. I can sit here and tell you, if I ran the company, I would give you guys this plan that Boost Infinite has right now for $1.50. In the back of my head, I'm telling you guys right now, no, I'm not going to make money that way. And if I don't make money, company goes down. You guys lose service. The same way like someone was talking about, we should only have 3 carriers and not 4 carriers. I disagree. Only because the 3 carriers are raising their prices right now. If there's only 3 carriers, that there's only 3 options, they hold the ball. You got to bow down and suck on those nuts to whichever one is the lesser of the devils. You have Boost Infinite in here. Now, it's not 100% perfect, but it gives you service at $25. That's like the ball and chain that stops the other companies from like going even higher on their plans, because if they go too high, they know some people might deal with the aggravation a little bit if they're only paying $25 a month. Maybe Wi-Fi calling, you use it out the US, Canada. I mean, you can use calls outside to in Canada and Mexico. Like using your Boost Infinite line in Canada and Mexico, you can. It's other countries for international roaming that we don't currently have right now. We will later, but we won't right now. And only reason why I say that we will is because T-Mobile has some really good deals in place with like 200 plus countries, and that could be Boost Infinite's avenue in bringing some sort of international roaming plan. I mean, hey, that would be awesome. Of course, I would suspect that if they made it an add-on where you can add it onto your plan, I don't think it would be at $5 a line. I honestly feel like that they would probably make it like $20. Welcome back, Lawrence. I appreciate you for being here. No sack sucking. You know, I'm not oblivious to everything. So like I will tell you guys, yeah, the things that Boost Infinite is doing right now is not perfect. It's not 100% perfect. I know that. I'm not just a person that works with them. I'm also a customer too. I have service with them, and I approach my business with my line of service with Boost Infinite as a customer, never as an employee. So believe you me, the people that I talk to on the phone or the people that I chat with have no idea that I'm their coworker. I don't broadcast it. I don't go and say, no, you're wrong about this, because I know that you have to do this, 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 this. I'm not that guy. When I'm calling in as a customer. I don't throw weight around. I'm just a fucking employee that likes his job and loves what he does, and that's it. So who am I to go and put someone on blast? And if there's a mistake they made, I don't call them out on it. There's only one tip advice that I would give you guys. One tip that I will give you guys, and this pertains to the chat-in option. If you chat in with a rep, maybe that rep is pissing you off. Hey, it happens. But you know the little bar to type your message in? Do not type a message and start typing saying, you know what, I'm sick of this service. You're full of shit. Fuck you. Hope your dog dies. Even if you don't click send to send that message, they can see it in the chat. In the chat, they can see it before you send it. This is why, if anyone's ever noticed that if you start asking a question, they kind of have an idea of where you're going as soon as you click send, and then they have that quick response back. They are quick responding back to you because they are typing up and they're reading you as you're typing your message. They're reading along to get an understanding because they want to be efficient at resolving your issues. Not only just quick, they also want to resolve your issues effectively, but they also know that you have a life and you don't want to spend your days chatting with the rep for 2 hours to fix a problem. Sometimes it happens. You got to do that. Sometimes it happens, but they don't want every experience to be, 2 hours long. I say this because, there's people who do that. Like, they'll chat with somebody, they'll put in, this person doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. They won't click send to send it in the chat thread, but they'll type it out and then they'll lean their phone to their friend so their friend could read what they're chatting about. But the rep can see that. Any letter typed into the text box can be seen before sent. Okay, so I learned that. And it's not just Boost Infinite that does it. It's every company. So Visible does it. So if you ever chatted with the Visible rep and you were talking about this person needs to suck my, and you're like, I'm not going to send that. That's too mean. They've already read it. Chat works that way. I discovered that. I'm like, because I've always been on the phone side of things. I've never dealt with chat in that way. So to see that chat systems work that way, it's like, damn. There's times where I chatted with Metro by T-Mobile rep, and I'm like, this motherfucker doesn't know what he's doing. That dude read what I said without me actually sending it. I'm like, now I feel horrible because I'm like, fuck, they saw it, What they can't do is if you switch apps, say you minimize the Boost Infinite chat and you go into your Google Messages or your iMessage and you type a message to show your friend in silence. They can't see other apps. Just only in the Boost Infinite app can they see what's being typed out in the chat text box. And Visible does it, Metro does it, they all do it. I never knew this. So it's a little tip from me to you guys. Be nice all the way. If you're pissed and you think that person's an imbecile, keep that thought in your head. Don't put it down in the text box. They'll see it. We need deals like, well, so let me ask you this. If you started your own phone company, okay? If you started your own phone company, you raised enough capital to cover 58% of the country with your own network towers, right? So you're not an MVNO. You're an MNO. And you just started. Okay. Are you going to bring out the most discounted plans that could potentially make you no revenue this early in the stage? Boost Infinite is not as old. I will say this, the one thing that does kind of grind my gears is when people put the expectations that Boost Infinite has to be this grand company because Boost Mobile's been around for years. They're not the same fucking company. Boost Infinite postpaid, Boost Mobile prepaid. We don't handle both customers, so they're not together. Boost Infinite is like 9 months old. They're not even a year old yet. They are a sister company to Boost Mobile. They carry the Boost name because it's a recognized brand, but they're not the same. They didn't just migrate Boost Mobile customers over to postpaid and then created postpaid and they're all linked together using the same system. No. Like, what was it the other day? Not giving out too much details, but I got aggravated with a prepaid rep because they did call avoidance. They knew the customer was activating on prepaid. Their account says prepaid. They transferred her over to me to activate her SIM. So I transferred her back, but I did a warm transfer, which basically is just a fancy technical way of saying that I stayed on the call until the rep was ready to take over the call and activate her SIM. And I just confirmed she was prepaid because I asked her to describe her SIM card. Black 5G logo on the corner, Boost Mobile logo in the center. That's not Boost Infinite. Boost Infinite SIM cards are like a faded black with an Infinite logo on them. They will not have the Boost Mobile logo. And I apologized to her. Yeah, she was trying to get her Boost Mobile prepaid line for that was $10 active. That was like the big giveaway that was prepaid. Because I was trying to make sure she wasn't migrating over from prepaid to postpaid. But, you know, these problems are starting to happen because the Boost Mobile prepaid guys that, you know, don't want to deal with a customer, they're starting to send them our way. We're like, no. So I warn transfer back and make sure the rep understands what they need to do and that the guy, the customer on the line with me, and they'll verify with them once I'm off the line. But I just want to make sure they're ready to take over the call. And as soon as that rep's like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, now I'll tell the customer, hey, I got so-and-so on the line. They're with this side of the company, and they're going to assist you further at this point and getting you that SIM activated. Again, on behalf of Boost, I do apologize, but enjoy the rest of your day. And then I'll thank the rep too for taking the call, and I'll drop off the call. You know, like these things happen, and it's not just Dish that does this. They did this in Sprint, and fucking Sprint Prepaid would send Sprint Prepaid customers over to retention, the department I worked in. Send us those calls because they didn't want to deal with it. And it was deactivation calls or it was port out calls. And I'm like, I can't port you out. You know how pissed people got when I'm like, I can't provide you your port information because you're Sprint prepaid, not Sprint postpaid, and I can only access Sprint postpaid account. Man, would they get so pissed off? You know? Same way, you know, that it was with Verizon. Same way with Alltel when Alltel was around. It's the same. They do this. These things happen. If you guys don't know all the shit that happens in call centers, man, that are like that causes escalated issues, those are them. It's always about call avoidance. There are people who are like when I worked retention, I loved that job retention because it was just, to me, it was funny getting yelled at by an angry customer and all that stuff. But like we would have, you know, because we would get bonuses, right? If we were able to save a customer from porting out or canceling on Sprint, we would get bonuses based on our metrics, our stats, how many calls we're taking in a day, how fast and efficient are we getting through these calls and resolving issues. And I think that the biggest bonus I got on one paycheck was a $1,400 bonus, right? So my regular pay at the time when I was with Sprint retention was like $1,467 every 2 weeks. And then, so that one paycheck, I got my regular pay and then the bonus of $1,400. And there's people that want to hit that bonus, but they just want to take shortcuts. So they'll hang up on customers. They'll put customers on hold to pretend that, you know, they're talking, but not on hold, but like on mute, and they'll talk into their microphone and everyone around them can hear them talking to the customer, but the customer can't hear them because they're muted, and customer will just hang up. They would do all these weird things. When I got promoted up to being a special materials expert, which was just basically being a supervisor under a supervisor, taking all the supervisor requested calls while the supervisor did admin work. You know, I've a lot of escalations that would happen, and I would see this. They talked to like 5 different reps at Sprint, and every time they even brought up the fact that they wanted their account number. I mean, this is what pushed customers to try to be sneaky and call in and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing my taxes today and I need my Sprint account number. Can't argue with them because it is their account. We could double check to see like, okay, you know, I'll definitely be happy to provide you that information, sir. And while I'm pulling up your account so I can give you the correct information and verify that with you, you know, how's your service been lately? Like that was always my trick, was how's your service been? Because if they go, oh, it was good, that tells me like, no, something's wrong. If they're like, yeah, you know what, like everywhere that I go, I technically connect, it's fairly good. You know, like I can access this app and do this and that. And I know that they're okay with their network, but there's still something that's there that wants them to port out. You don't ever need your cell phone account number to do taxes. You don't. There's still tax write-off for that. Business corporation accounts, maybe, but not personal accounts. The reason why I didn't stay with the merger was because I left Sprint before the merger happened. My last day working at Sprint Retention was back in 2018. And the reason that I left them, since they're no longer a company anymore, was I got sick and tired of Sprint making all these different promotional plans that would piss customers off. You guys remember the unlimited freedom plans, right? If you remember that plan from Sprint or plans from Sprint, give me the rock out emoji. I want to see how many people remember unlimited freedom. And then I'm going to call on you guys to see what part of unlimited freedom you remember. So tell me if you remember unlimited freedom and describe what the plan was. If you remember it. This might work, this might not work. If you guys don't remember, that's totally fine. Because if you guys remember Unlimited Freedom by Sprint, I guarantee 3 of you guys are going to describe the plan in 3 different ways. I guarantee it. And the reason why was because, to be honest with you guys, Sprint had 6 different unlimited freedom plans that were called Unlimited Freedom. There was a regular unlimited freedom plan, $65 for the first line, $45 for the second line. Lines 3 to 5 were $35 each. That was the basic unlimited freedom plan. Later on, they added Hulu in there. Then you had unlimited freedom plan. First line is $65. Second line was $25. Lines 3 to 5 free. And that was a 1-year promotion. There was unlimited freedom. 50 for the first line, 40 for the second line, 30 for the third line, lines 4 and 5 free. There was unlimited freedom. $65 for the first line, lines 2 to 5 free. No Hulu. Unlimited freedom had so many different plans, and the promotional ones were promotions. If you ported your number over to Sprint or signed up with Sprint, you would get that. Some sales reps forgot to disclose that the promotion only lasted a year. So you can imagine a customer who had one of the promotional plans on Unlimited Freedom was getting good savings. Their year anniversary came up. We do send on their paper bill and on their email bill, we do send an insert that says, hey, you're about to lose your promotion next month. Please give us a call so we can find the best available plan options for you that will fit your budget. But of course, people don't read bill inserts. They don't read the email entirely. They just look for the total of the bill and that's it. Can you imagine how many, I want to cancel my account. Okay, hold on. This is what customer service would say to them. I understand. They had to make one attempt to try to save them. They'd be like, I understand you want to cancel your services. Was there something that we did wrong that came with that decision today? Person will stonewall them. I don't want to fucking tell you what's going on. Just cancel my line of service. All right, sir, I understand. We have a special department that handles taking care of all cancellations. I'm going to get you in touch with them right now. Before I do, is there a good callback number that I can contact you back on just in case we happen to get separated? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, bear with me on a brief hold. Let me get our cancellation department on the line so they can furtherly assist you. One moment. Boom. Then I get on the phone. And the person's like, yeah, fuck you guys. Blah, 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 blah. Cancel my account. Da, 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 da. No one told me my promotional unlimited freedom plan is done. Why am I being billed, $300? Because, when they get the unlimited freedom, they'll get the promotion for the phones too, right? Like we had promotions like buy 1 iPhone and get 4 iPhones free. They would take advantage of that because free iPhones and, iPhone 7's free. Yeah. So like their bill spiked up to like freaking $357, $420, $510. And man, oh man, try and retain a customer for that. If that customer cancels within 30 days after speaking to you, that hits your metrics at Sprint. What are the chances that person stayed? Even if they blew smoke up my ass and told me, you know what? All right, I'll hang. Because they're only going to hang with Sprint because they're going to start looking for another provider to port their number over. And then 20 days from the day that I talked to them, they ported over to T-Mobile. So there was stuff that Sprint did that I didn't agree with. There were stuff that there were metrics that Sprint would gauge things by. They really pushed the retention department to its breaking point. I had enough with them. I got offered a job at Asurion at the call center here that they did AT&T Pro Tech support. So if you had AT&T and you signed up for service, and then you got a courtesy call from AT&T Pro Tech support with onboarding with your new AT&T account, we'll help you set up your device. We'll help you set up your Google account. We'll help you pair your phone to all your smart devices. We'll help you set up your smart TV. We'll help you set up your smart speaker. If you talk to those dudes, you were talking to Asurion, not an AT&T rep. You were talking to me. And I would spend my days trying to help a customer that was AT&T that would call in and be like, yeah, I can't do this on my computer. We couldn't shun them away. AT&T wanted us to help them with everything. So then we would link with them like, yes, sir, what we're going to do at this time to help you get things set up on your computer, to your phone. I'm going to need remote access to your computer. We're going to use this program, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let's go ahead and click this. Okay, you're going to see my mouse move. I'm going to go ahead. You see my mouse move? That's me. That's nobody else. I got a notepad here. Let me tell me something you want me to say. And then the customer will be like, say dog. And then I'll type dog in a sticky note. Like, it's me controlling your computer. All right, let's get your computer set up. Like, AT&T Pro Tech support was through Asurion. Sprint, this is a Sprint Advanced Care or whatever the fuck it was called. That was also through Asurion. Verizon's was also through, like, the pro tech support sides of any of these MNOs was Asurion doing it. It wasn't them. If you guys didn't know that, now you know. I don't even know if AT&T Pro Tech support is still a thing. If it is a thing, they're Asurion. That's who I worked for. That's who I left the company for. Went over to Asurion and worked there. I mean, because I got to deal with tech all day long. I got to talk tech with them. And that was around the time where I had slowed down making any videos and doing any live streams on YouTube back in 2018 into 2019. That was the reason. I was doing tech all day. I didn't want to talk about it anymore when I got home. But yeah, that's why I left Sprint before the merger. 2, I don't want to work for T-Mobile because I got a friend of mine that worked at T-Mobile that now works with us. And even she would tell you it's a clusterfuck to work for the customer service. So I heard nightmares of people that I knew that went there. I didn't want to go. Now, I'm not talking about T-Mobile service. I'm talking about their customer service. Alrighty, I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. Of course, replays won't be for a while because I set these to members only to be able to replay them for at least a week before I put them back up live for anyone to check them out. So if you're interested in looking at it, it'll be a week from now that this will be back up. I'll leave it up for a couple of hours for replays. By tomorrow morning, I'll switch it to members only access and give it a week before I put it back live. So I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me, all for the wonderful questions. If you subscribe to the channel, I appreciate that. If you're on the Twitter side watching and you follow me on Twitter, thank you so much for doing so. Appreciate you all. Yeah, I'm sorry. I would love to give you guys so much insight on Boost Infinite, but there's just proprietary information I can't, And if Dish is watching, let me know if I did an okay job at that. If there's anything, just reach out to me. I'm versatile. Easy to talk to about this stuff. So, all right, guys. Tomorrow I won't be live at all. Won't be doing shit because it's Mother's Day. Big love to my mom and to my wife. So yeah, I won't be on here tomorrow. And then of course the week will be slow because I'm at work. I will see you guys. I'll probably try to do a live stream Wednesday. And I'll upload some small videos here and there. Next Wednesday's live stream is going to talk more Pixel 7a, Pixel Fold, get more deep dive into that. Those that watched my video from yesterday that I made go live this morning, thank you guys for checking it out. I appreciate it. And hopefully I didn't ruffle some feathers about the whole ecosystem thing. Shut up. this road that they're driving that fast on is only a 35. So hopefully someone doesn't cross the street and get whopped by them because they know hit and run. And we're pretty strict on hit and runs here. I think I'm converting my other channel to talk wrestling too. Just to let you guys know, those that are interested in wrestling. So I'm kind of working on that right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but I want to. So Zero Gaming, if you guys are subscribed to that channel and you guys want me to talk wrestling on there, let me know. Go to that channel, post it in like a comment of any of the videos that's on there. And if enough people do it, maybe I'll start talking about Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views. Try not to do too much on that channel because like a lot of the good stuff I want to save for the Scorpion Deathlock podcast with Mike. I like podcasting with somebody talking wrestling than just me by myself. But I also do want to talk about wrestling sometimes too. So I will start doing that if people want it. If you don't want it, it's totally fine, totally cool. No worries. I'm rambling right now. Night, everybody.